Excuse me. That's an awkward timing.
All right. We're live on the Facebook.
Hi, Facebook. Oh, did we ever figure out how I can go and chat with people on the Facebook?
No.
I'm perfectly happy for you. I think I might be too easily distracted by people typing in the box because that gets
Okay.
really exciting for me and I stop paying attention to the
Yep.
screen.
Yep.
As we learned when we did the live premiere things. So maybe you're just my connection to the outside world.
Okay. Let me make sure I've got audio on both of these.
Check, check.
Cool.
Question.
Yes.
Never mind. I'm going to put it down as my production notes. I
Okay.
have a lot of
So we've
these
got
things.
audio on everything. Everything's good. Starting in a couple minutes. Thanks to anybody who's here. I don't really see anybody viewing on the YouTube right now, so we're
We're
basically
still
running in
early,
stealth.
but that's okay. Uh,
We
we
don't
should
run this
invite
on
people.
Portland time. What's that?
We should invite people. Like we promote it and we're like, hey, we're gonna do this, but we should just be like, hey, you should join us. It might be interesting. We should actually like be like, hello, friend.
come come hang out with us on the
No, no,
live.
you can't be in the room with us. We're still super introverted. But you can be in the box with us.
You can be somewhere for us.
Um, this notebook is really taking shape.
Good, I'm glad.
I've been waiting for so long to have like the perfect use for this notebook,
Hmm.
and this hobby, this show is the only thing this has ever been used for, and it's super exciting. And it has a lot of scribbles.
And a lot of questions and answers.
Yes,
Hmm.
and little hearts. And it doesn't have the coolest S anywhere because I still haven't learned how to draw it.
It's 3 lines.
Maybe you could teach me this evening.
Yeah, maybe. I can find you a video tutorial on
Right?
how to draw the
Didn't
coolest
Mahesh
S.
send us a video tutorial on how to draw the coolest
I
S?
believe so, yeah.
Yeah. Should we talk about what we're drinking?
You can tell people what you're drinking if you would like. There's
Hmm.
no one watching, so this will just get chopped off. It doesn't
Cool. It's
matter.
the perfect time. I've been trying to find a better use for my non-alcoholic gin because I don't like. I'm fine. I'm happy to not drink, but I miss having a special drink. I miss something that's special and pretty. So we figure
Hmm.
out how to make something that closely resembles a mojito with my non-alcoholic gin, and I'm really excited because it's like I feel like it should be on a old porch somewhere, on a rocking chair, sweating with a little hand fan,
Uh-huh.
sipping this drink.
Oh, did I put Facebook on the right side? I can't remember. I might need to reorganize my windows once Facebook actually goes live.
Okay, oh gosh, I have so many production notes this week.
Okay, good.
I don't know what's come over me.
Maybe we'll get to, well, it's partly that it's the end of the season, I think, and it feels like a but I guess next episode will be our official end of the season production meeting, but we can talk about whatever you like production wise.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I want to talk about is of these two meetings is our last production meeting of the season
Ah, okay.
because
Oh,
that's
because
one
the
of
other one could be the first meeting of the new
yeah,
season.
because I have but we can address that when it's time to have those conversations.
Cool,
It's
cool.
1 minute till. Are you ready to kick us off officially? Let
Yes,
me
I
clean my
am.
glasses again.
Just waiting, waiting. Whew, it's
These are
nerve
very
wracking.
scratchy.
This, given that there's no one watching. There may be on Facebook at some point, though, given that people tuned in last time.
I thought it didn't go live on Facebook until the scheduled appointed time, or is that just YouTube?
Facebook only goes live at the appointed time. YouTube just starts broadcasting as soon as you hit
Oh,
record.
I was very confused at which did which. Fantastic.
Yeah, Facebook's a little more slick uh, than YouTube.
Yeah.
All right. Should be going live on Facebook now. We just did, and we're live on Facebook, which means we're live on YouTube as well. So, welcome everyone to the mildly interesting people production meeting.
You did it.
Hey, I did it. I added the music. I thought I'd just throw that in there so that I didn't have to edit it on the podcast. So this is the mildly
That's such a
interesting
delight.
people production meeting. If you haven't been to our production meeting before, just to kind of give you the welcome and where we are. I am Rick Turoczy. I'm the producer of Mildly Interesting People. This is Cami Kaos. She's the talent. We're really just using this live as an opportunity to share with you what's going on with Mildly Interesting People, to talk through some stats and production notes and those kind of things. But really, this is just designed to give you kind of behind the scenes. So if you're at all interested in what we're doing with Mildly Interesting People, or you just are interested in hanging out with Cami and me, we love having you here. We're doing it every Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific. So that's kind of the current beta test. Cami, how are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I got distracted. A piece of mint got stuck on the bottom of my straw, and I couldn't get any of the liquid to come up, and it was really distracting to me. I'm doing well. This is the production meeting. I would like to note, and I realize that this is old business, right? We're in the old business section before we go into what we're watching.
Yep.
That Rick completed two things that we had been expressing that we needed. He has the music now, so they can just pop and it's in, and this makes the less editing that I was saying would be great. And he brought me this little octopus. It's a little stuffed animal that my daughter got me. And on one side, it's like pink and it's all smegly. And on the other side, if you flip it over, it's all gray and grumpy. And he put it up above my camera. Does it look like
I think it may be a little. It may be a little high. Yeah, okay. You're looking a little high, so we'll need to.
But I like
continue to work on that.
But well, it's good. It's progress. I love that little dude. Okay.
Cool. Okay. What do we want to kind of, we usually start this out with like what we're watching, what's going on in our lives, and then we get into test driving mildly interesting questions, which if folks aren't familiar with mildly interesting questions, it's a lightning round of questions that we ask guests. We ask guests the same questions every week. Cami and I kind of test drive new potential questions. And from the sounds of things, we're going to need a lot of extra questions in the not too distant future. So it's really good that we've tested all of these things. And then, so Cami will ask me 5 questions. I'll ask her 5 questions. Then we'll get into the production meeting and kind of go through what we're seeing, stats, notes, all that kind of stuff.
Thank you for sharing the agenda. That was so helpful.
Of course. Yeah, happy to do that. Where would you like to start with just chit chat?
Where would you like to start, Rick?
I don't know. What are you watching right now? What
I'm not watching anything right now. I'm recording a show.
You're watching an octopus right now.
She's just so cute. Just a little heart on her head, and the other one has a little raindrop. Anyway, what I'm watching right now, I will tell you what I watched earlier today because I missed the boat on the movie Sleepers.
Mm-hmm.
It was made a long, long time ago. All-star cast, absolutely amazing acting, phenomenal movie. Content warning: rape, abuse, law enforcement, abuse of authority, clergy.
Such an uplifting film.
But I remember starting to watch it once when I was younger and being like, no, I am not here for this. I cannot handle this right now. Can't handle it. And I never even made it to the part of the movie where the actors turn into the famous people. Because it's a tale of 4 young boys growing up in Hell's Kitchen. And so the first half of the movie is them as kids. And then the second half of the movie, I came to find out, starred Brad Pitt.
Oh, I'd forgotten he was in that.
And we all know. And then the bad part of the movie starred Kevin Bacon. And
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm overlooking. I love Kevin Bacon, so I'm gonna have to take a. Anyway, it was a tragic movie. It was really good. I assume it won a lot of awards. If it didn't, they were robbed. Although, like winner white men in Hollywood robbed of anything, so I maybe
Mm-hmm.
retract that. But I watched that today, which was super depressing.
Really got her energy level up for the live. It's like, how can I really
How can I really
pre-funk the live and get
let's
ready?
talk? Let's talk about something we watched last night that I enjoyed more than you did, I believe. But we watched Creed 3.
I like Michael B. Jordan,
I like Michael B. Jordan a lot.
and I can't remember her name, but the actor who plays
Valkyrie. And
Valkyrie.
I remembered her name last night to say it, but now all of a
Hmm.
sudden it's out. And then the other actor in that movie that I really love is the actor who starred in the Cthulhu series on HBO,
Lovecraft Country.
Lovecraft Country, which he's phenomenal. I'm having a huge block on names today, and it's
Yeah, and he
making me
was
feel
also
like
in
an
the
ass.
Ant-Man
Oh, that's
Quantidillion
right.
blah blah.
As I was reminded, I had forgotten he was in that because I wanted to forget about it. Because
Didn't we all?
yeah,
But
Jonathan
he's like,
Majors is his name. Am I being?
my,
I
I think you're
believe the reason I have a
close.
block on his
Yeah,
name is because his name is like Jonathan Majors, and I always think that that's wrong, but I think it is Jonathan
his
Majors.
his name's like Lee Majors. You've been a
That's
very good
yes.
boy this year. Yeah,
And I'm going to come up with Tessa Thompson's name any second.
very
Oh,
good.
thank
Look
my
at you.
brain.
The block is
I was
broken.
I was going to go for the phone and start IMDBing people, but
Hmm.
my brain worked before that had to happen.
Yeah, so he's like the new Thanos in the Marvel universe.
I thought you were saying he's like the new Thanos in Creed, and I was like,
He's like
no.
Thanos in Creed 2. He's kind of like the Clubber Lang
Mm-hmm.
guy.
Anyway, oh
Who's Mr.
Spike.
T? Oh, Spike, right on time. So yeah, so we watched all
Anyway,
that.
what
Go ahead.
was your primary complaint about the movie?
Eh, It just, and I know I'm saying this about movies we've watched recently, so it's probably more me than anything else, but it just seemed inconsistent. Like there was kind of like, well, we're going to do the drama part, and then we're going to slap some boxing in there, and then we're going to shift back to the drama part. We're going to slap. It didn't feel, not that the Rocky films are like amazing from a consistency or flow standpoint, but it just didn't have that same, for lack of a better term, kind of like dumb jock movie vibe that some other boxing movies do.
May I translate?
Mm,
He felt like there was way too much life in between the hitting people.
yeah,
Um, and I get that because I do think that the Rocky movies were very much made to be uh, lots of hitting people, and then they throw some tidbits in
right.
between to get you to pay attention at the hitting parts. So I think that these were actually made for different audiences. I think that the Rocky movies were made for like guys that wanted to go see a violent thing but needed an excuse to pull someone along with them, right?
Well, yeah, I mean,
When I
except
was a
for
little
Rocky, which
girl,
Rocky
the
is a love story
it
that
is
just
a love
happens
story,
to have
but
some
that's how you get
boxing.
them. That's how you get them. That's how you pull them in
Mm,
old school movie making, and they probably still do it. Women target audience. If you want to have a violent movie, we assume that women just want a love story, and so we throw in a love story, and then we have lots of violence, and then the women are like, "Oh, he's protecting me," and you see, this is the thing. This felt more like a movie or a storyline that happened to occur with intermittent boxing in it. It was like it had a real story. It was just like I'm not going to spoil it for people because I'm not going to spoil it for multiple reasons because I really enjoyed it. But it
no, I
felt
was
like
saying.
it was a story about life, and the character happened to be a boxer.
Well, and it was also, I mean, in everyone's defense, I have grown so used to seeing those actors in action packed films
Ooh,
that anything less than a Black Panther Marvel actiony movie, like it's going to seem like it's not as much action. So that could be part of it.
So here's what I want to wrap up, unless there's something else you want to discuss on television, and then, but
Nope.
this is what I want to wrap up our conversation on. You didn't watch Lovecraft Country. It's funny, I can't remember the name of it. I just
Mm-mm.
call it the Cthulhu HBO show. You didn't watch Lovecraft Country. I did. I watched it
Mhm.
twice. It was, I'm pissed that it's gone. It was so amazing. It was every single thing about it was so beautifully done, and it was horror, and I
Mhm.
love horror. Rick, will you watch Lovecraft Country with me?
Potentially.
I
I
think
don't know.
just I think just for the acting in the movie alone. And the cast is all star. All right, anyway, that's my request this week. I'm asking, will you please give it a shot and try watching it with me?
Okay. Cool.
Okay. And if you guys are hanging out, if y'all are watching later, right now, whenever, let Rick know if you think he should watch the show.
Hmm.
That's
Sure.
not going to go in my favor. People are going to be like, "No, Rick, no, don't do it." So, but
Don't do it.
anyway,
Avoid it.
he should. He's going to pay people to be like, "No, I don't want to watch the creepy horror
Yeah,
stuff."
that's fine. It's kind of like True Blood. Like, it was
True Blood
okay.
really lost the plot for me at a certain
Yeah.
point.
Yeah. Um,
This is
cool.
much darker than True Blood.
Yeah. Uh, so done with that part. Ready to move
Yes.
on to mildly interesting questions.
Yes.
Okay. Mildly interesting questions. If you haven't been here before, lightning round, 5 questions. Family Feud rules. If you don't have an immediate response, you may pass. However, there is no timer, so you can't avoid a question by passing it. You just have to answer it later. Cami asked me first. I do the
I do.
5. Then I ask her.
Because we're
She
doing
does the
this. I
5.
go first because we're smashing the patriarchy.
That's right. Also, that she gets flustered after
I
she
do.
has to answer all of her questions.
I really
So
do.
this is the correct order to be doing it in. So yeah, let's get going.
Let's
I'm
do it.
ready.
Are you feeling ready?
No,
You got this? Okay.
no, I don't know where
As
my energy is. Like I think we recorded earlier today, so I might have used all my charm during that
Did you feel
episode.
the need to charm that particular guest?
I feel so charming on a regular basis. It's hard to tell when I feel the need to charm.
I feel like it's really important for that particular person to like you for like the harmony of your life.
Eh, whatever.
Meh? Interesting. And that where's my pen? No, we're gonna start with the questions.
All right, cool.
The first question, as tradition has it, comes from Mahesh.
Hey, Mahesh.
All right, Rick. What is your favorite tree?
Tree, tree.
What's your favorite tree? And to be for the record, I'm going on record right now. I think this is an excellent contender for a question to ask our guests. What is your favorite tree?
Oh,
And there's no specification. It could be like if there's a specific tree in the world that exists and that tree is your favorite, or if it's your favorite kind of tree. Like, what's your favorite tree, Rick?
I like a Douglas fir kind of like Christmas tree is
Hmm.
probably the tree I have the most affection for. I like many trees, don't get me wrong. Trees are great, but that's probably the only thing that I've ever thought about being my favorite tree.
I want to dig a little deeper. Tell me what about the Christmas tree? Like, what makes the perfect Christmas tree for you?
I'm one of those I don't like the and this might even be the Douglas fir. I don't like the ones that are really sparse, like the ones
Hmm.
that just kind of like come out.
You don't like the Charlie Brown trees.
No, not even Charlie Brown. They're just the ones that aren't terribly filled in. Like they leave plenty of room for ornaments and
I
stuff,
don't
but
like
they
that
look,
either.
yeah. So I like the more full fur kind of trees.
But like your beard.
Right.
Okay. Question number 2.
Yes.
When you're traveling on a plane, would you rather take a checked bag or a tightly packed carry on?
Carry on mostly. I'm kind of a carry on person. Um, Partly because I've traveled so much, and partly because I just don't. it adds an additional stressor to the trip if you're like concerned about, especially if you have connections, if you're concerned about the bag getting misplaced or something. So I'd prefer to avoid that if I can. And I used to do a lot of like not day trips, but like 48-hour kind of trips where I'd fly in the night before, go to the meeting, and then fly out, or fly the red eye somewhere and then work all day and then fly back. That didn't like, or so a lot of that came down to being able to fit everything in a carry-on.
Cool. Thank you. Question number 3, and I'm kind of all over the place today. I think
It's
it's a
fine.
strategy. It's a strategy.
Mm.
You can use only one type of cooking oil for the rest of your life. Which type of cooking oil do you choose?
Well, I can't say olive oil or we'll get Uncle Roger coming after me. Uh, I like the smoke point of avocado oil. So I'm going to go with that as the oil I choose. I'm kind of
Nice.
pseudo allergic to coconut oil.
Hmm.
So, um,
And peanut oil as well.
right.
Yeah.
And I just like, I don't know why I like avocado oil more than like a canola or a corn, but I would go with avocado oil.
Excellent. Thank you.
And that car
Um,
agrees.
that car does agree. Okay. Would you rather go to bed early and wake up early or stay up late and sleep in?
I would rather stay up late and sleep in. However, generally what it is no matter how late I stay up, I wake up early. So I
That's
think
very
I'm just
sad.
old. No.
That's very sad. So when I'm
But
as old as
I do
you,
prefer I was very much the vast majority of my life I was very much a night owl. So I do miss that, but I can't really pull it off anymore because I wake up so early involuntarily
okay.
or because there's a cat, one of the two.
Sometimes he just sleeps and sleeps and sleeps. Sometimes it's 4 o'clock in the morning and he's like, trust me, it's time for breakfast. And it's
Yep,
not. It's not time for breakfast.
right.
But he thinks it is. He's like a rooster, a beam of sunlight. He's like, hello, breakfast. For one, please. Thank you. Okay. Last question.
Mhm.
Why do you hate eating around people?
That's a good question.
It's a good
I
question.
don't
Thank you.
I don't know that I've ever explored it. For people who don't know, like I cannot like I can't eat on camera. I get really uncomfortable eating like if there's a group lunch or whatever, like I would rather just sit there than eat. Uh I don't have that problem with like drinks. Like I
No,
don't mind drinking coffee or beverages around people. It's just something about eating
it doesn't. And you seem okay with like French fries or chips or something. Like that doesn't seem to trouble you
snacky.
too much. Yeah.
And I don't know where that came from because it didn't bug me in high school. Like I would go to the cafeteria and eat in front of
Yeah.
people. In college, I'd eat 3 meals a day with a whole bunch of people. And I don't know. It just some point something triggered that I feel really awkward when I'm eating in front of people. Oh, part of it is I know what it is too. Like part of it is I'm comfortable eating around people I know really, really well, and I get nervous because yeah, no, I don't like people, and so people I don't know, I get nervous around, and I get especially if I've had any caffeine whatsoever, I get like nervous shakes while I'm trying to eat, and so I think that's part of it too. Is I just don't want to appear I appear awkward enough as it is. I don't want to increase the level of awkwardness in any way. So that's a great question. I need to spend some time thinking about that, but that's the best I could come up with on the fly.
Thank you. I accept and appreciate your answer.
Cool. Is that
It's your
it? That's
turn.
all five?
That's
All
all
right.
5. Did I do? I don't. Boop boop.
Yep.
Yes, all 5.
I'm checking it off the production list. So you
Thank
better
you.
be done with your
I'm certain.
questions. Okay. All right, now it's my turn.
It is.
to ask Cami questions. So let me get all. I still don't have my desk. I don't know what happened, but like my desk feels weird. Oh, it's the new. I think I got a new monitor because my
Yeah.
old monitor died. So I had to get new lighting, and everything just feels kind of out of whack.
He basically
So I
killed everything
apologize.
on that side of his desk. He's some sort of magnetic mutant superpower. He zapped them.
Potentially. But it all seems to be working now. I just need to get it rearranged so I can use it. Okay. Mildly interesting questions for Cami Chaos. Question number 1. What's one habit you would like to pick up over the next year?
Making my bed every day.
Don't you kind of do that already?
I do that sporadically, and I would like to do it every day.
I hope it's not sporadically.
Sporadically. No, it's something, it's specifically the word habit clicked with me. The bed's not made right now. I mean, it has sheets and blankets and stuff on it, but I didn't like pull the blankets up and tuck them in and then put the fancy pillows, because we've got fancy pillows. Well, they're regular pillows with fancy shams. And then there's one little fancy pillow and another little fancy pillow. I redid the bedroom for summer. Like, I didn't like go buy new stuff. I just moved things around the house and was like, look, giant black sun hat on the wall. Oh, look, the atoms. Oh, a black pillow. But anyway, when I don't make the bed when I'm not doing well, and I haven't been making the bed, which so I mean it's a vicious circle, but that's a really good indicator of me that I can tell myself you're going to do this, and then do it. And so yeah,
that's what habits are. Yep.
Yeah, make the bed. That's an amazing question. Wow, I had a lot of feelings around. Thank you.
I was thinking that could be a good.
It is. That's a
in
really
the runner,
good one.
like it could be. I was gonna go either way. I wanted to stay positive on it, but it could be, what's one positive habit you hope to pick up, or one bad habit you hope to break?
I'd like to stay positive. I'd like to stay positive. I really like that one.
Speaking of positive, milkshakes or sundaes?
Sundays.
Really?
Do you want to know why?
Yes, I do, because you order milkshakes way more than you order sundaes.
Well, if you're telling me, Cami, is this for the rest of my life, or is this what I'm getting right now?
It's just how you're feeling today.
But right now, I would. Okay, I'm going to answer it both ways. Right now, I'd rather have a milkshake. Specifically, I want the Burgerville espresso shake with the chocolate shot in it. That's my current favorite milkshake. My all-time favorite milkshake is from a place called the Superior Dairy in Hanford, California. It's closed now. But my mom was a Scoop girl when she was growing up there. They have the best, in my opinion, they have the best ice cream in the world. It just tasted like chocolate home. And I have had so many milkshakes and ice cream cones from Superior Dairy that is what ice cream is supposed to taste like to me. And so right now I would choose a milkshake. That being said, if you're saying for the rest of your life you can have only one or the other, you can take a sundae and pour syrup over it and stir it up and wait until it's the right texture and then drink it. And it's like a milkshake. So that's why I said sundae.
Yeah, this is not a rest of your life kind of.
Phew. Okay, great. So now they know I really like milkshakes.
I have a rest of your life question.
Ooh,
so that couldn't be a rest of your life question.
Oh, so this was more like stickers or magnets, milkshakes, or okay, got it.
It's not got it.
I took it very seriously.
You did. You answered it well, though. Okay, the next one. Name one He-Man character that doesn't get the attention you think they deserve.
Man at Arms. The
Tom Selleck of the He-Man universe. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Why Man at Arms? Because he has to deal with Tila all the time.
I just feel like he's like the funny best friend, right? Who isn't ever taken seriously and is never going to be a leading man. But like, he's one of those characters that like you can tell in this story, his life revolves around He-Man and Skeletor and everything that's happening, right? He's an NPC, so we never get to see anything of his life outside of He-Man. And that's why I think that he's underappreciated. I think that like I feel like he needs a spinoff.
So he's actually more the Rick Simon of Simon and Simon
Yeah.
with the mustache.
Yeah.
Which is also, is that Major Dad? Is that Gerald Rainey?
I
can't
love
remember
Gerald
who it was.
Rainey.
Yeah.
I hope we never did it. I always feel really gross when I say I love an actor. I'm like, I love that man. He's so fantastic. But I don't know anything about him as a person. So let me say I've enjoyed his performances throughout the years. And if he's a horrible person, please feel free to tell me. I hope he's not. Because I don't want anyone to be a horrible person.
Spike has an opinion on Gerald Rainey. Okay, next question. What's the deal with weighted blankets?
Wow, you're hitting. I don't know if you're intentionally hitting really hard today or if you're just accidentally. Weighted blankets are amazing. And in my particular case, they help to calm down my brain and nervous system. So it's like I imagine it's very much like a baby being swaddled, and it just gives you that comfort. Um, so anytime I am feeling anxious, that sounds like I'm only occasionally anxious. When I'm feeling particularly anxious, that is one phenomenal non-medical self-soothing situation that I can walk into. And I also find it helpful. I like to meditate, and traditionally you do not meditate lying down, but you can. And I like to meditate with the weighted blanket either over my lap or laying down because it helps to soothe my fidgeting so that I can continue trying to soothe my mind.
I'm just gunning for a weighted blanket sponsor. I'm not fooling anybody here.
Dude,
just thought we could test drive.
If you have a weighted blanket that you want me to try, I will try your weighted blanket. I have tried maybe 5-6 brands of weighted blankets. We've got 3 different brands of weighted blankets in our house. I will try more. I'm not going to say the name of the one that I like best, but I will say that the one I like best doesn't have a washable cover. So, and it's not washable. I don't know how to wash it. You can't throw a weighted blanket into the washing machine and then the dryer. And so it's like spot cleaning. But we have a cat, and the cat is allowed in the bedroom. So anyway, if you are a weighted blanket company and you want me to test out a weighted blanket, I'll be very honest and tell you how I feel about your weighted blanket. I might like it. I might not.
You know, the only person I know who doesn't like a weighted blanket, the delivery people who have to bring Cami her weighted blankets.
No one's had to bring me. The last time someone had to bring a weighted blanket, it was a gift that we got for someone else.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right, that's 4 or 5. Are you ready for your last mildly interesting
Is it unintentionally diving deep into my psychological problems?
No.
Cool.
No, you're the one bed route with the habit. I didn't foresee that being the habit that you wanted to pick up. So that was more my lack of insight.
It's like the ink blots. You see whatever you find. Yeah. You see what
you see some thematic element to my questioning that I did not at all perceive. Cool. So
here's the human. We look for patterns.
Here's the last one. You can only eat one species of fish for the rest of your life. What is it?
Oh, you fucking asshole. Does this include like shellfish and like clams, mussels, oysters, or
species,
like is it just like
rainbow trout? I don't
know. No, I'm just saying, is it like are bivalves included? Do shrimp
gooey
count?
Duck, right? Gooey duck is what
does a shrimp count as a fish? Basically, is what I'm asking, because it's technically not a fish.
Technically, it's a crustacean, but that's fine. What species of water animal?
That makes it even worse.
If you could only eat one.
I really like fish, Rick.
I know, that's really why I'm making you pick.
That's mean. I'm narrowing it down in my brain. This is going to be the longest.
Yeah, I don't edit this. I mean, I edit it for the shorts, but the poor people watching the live are going to be like, dude, would you answer already?
Okay, it's currently a tie between tuna and crab.
Huh. You have to pick.
Tuna.
Nice. That would have been my choice as well.
It's just such a versatile fish. You can do so much with it. You can eat
Right.
it raw, you can eat it cooked, you can smoke it, you can preserve it. It
Hmm.
really is, yeah.
Yep. Janet showed up and she said that that was a cruel question.
Thank you,
These are
Janet.
so good.
They
So
are.
Janet supports you in that that's cruel.
Thank you. And as that was number 5, are we done?
Yeah, we're done.
Woo!
So now we're done with the questions. We're on to the production meeting. You said you had a lot of production notes, so I'd love to just kick it off with your production notes to
Okay.
begin.
Let me just top off my Topo Chico. Okay. Wow, I'm kind of all over. So I'll keep this
Okay.
part for when you ask for stats. So my first production question, it's a question more than a note, is hey, your friend gave you that cool soundboard that I think makes recordings and noises and stuff. When does that get added to our show?
I need to figure out how to hook it up because
Okay.
I would like I've got a virtual version of that that is available as part of the streaming stuff that we
Is that how you
use.
did the music earlier?
Yeah. So like I've got all kinds of weird little sound effects that I can use, but I would like to set up our own
That wasn't
version
funny.
and
That was not funny. Why are you laughing? Sorry.
uh so
I was trying to be
so
funny. It failed. Not land.
so it's a board, it's basically a soundboard, a mini soundboard that you can program stuff
Okay.
into, and so I'm excited to muck around with it. I just need to figure it really is only effective for live kind of stuff, and
Yes, but
so
now we're doing live stuff every week.
right, exactly. So I need to figure that out
Okay.
is the answer. Good
Okay.
question.
I want to do a little branding talk.
Okay.
And I think that's partly because I kind of just show up and do this stuff, and that's cool with me. But I do often feel like Rick is. I don't often feel like Rick is pulling all the heavy weight on this. I will tell you straight up that Rick is pulling all the heavy weight on this, and I just show up. And honestly, right now, that's kind of my speed. But there is some stuff that like my brain starts to think about, hey, how can we do this? How can we jazz this up? And talking with Nye about like the behind the scenes, the production and marketing things and all that. And I was like, you know what, that should be really exciting to me. And it hasn't been. And maybe
Hmm.
it's time for that to be exciting for me. So I was wondering what you think of me trying to do some brand related stuff for our show.
I think that's fine. I think part of, and this again, not to put any pressure on our lives who have volunteered to do things. I think part of my hesitation has been not leaning into too many branded things before we figure out what the revised logo might look like.
Right. I have some things that would go in tandem with the logo and that they'll
Okay.
kind of be able to work in. I've got some thoughts and I'll mention a couple of them.
Cool.
Um,
Cool.
that's
Cool.
next. Next is a couple of them. You know how sometimes couples go and have photos taken at like J.C. Penney's or Sears?
Uh-huh.
I
What's
think
what's JC Penney?
is
Sears.
J.C. Penney
I
is
don't know that,
do they
I
still
don't know that
exist?
they
I was trying to make a joke because we were watching some murder show the other day and it was like this was a school photo, this one was from Sears, and it was like I remember the Sears photo studios and Olin
Yep.
Mills.
Yep.
You take my point. I
Right.
am proposing because you and I are both very awkward, but I am proposing that we hire a portrait photographer of some kind to do a photo shoot of the two of us. And if you'd like to, you could just think of it as collateral for our show.
Okay.
I think it's a good idea.
I think I need to get into Oak or another barbershop before we even approach that idea. But yes, okay.
Didn't you get an appointment scheduled?
Can I wear my hat?
Well, we'll talk about that next. Did you get your appointment for your beard
Yes.
scheduled?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, the next is, I think when we do that, we need a stylist. Just like when I write something for my personal stuff and I have this guy that comes in afterwards
Glamour
and
shots. Yeah. Janet's like glamour shots.
yes, Janet. I wasn't saying glamour
We're,
shots, but
we're not putting shit in my beard,
we're
Janet.
not.
Just lose that idea
I've
right
lost
now.
that. But Janet, if you promise never to publish them to the internet, I'll send you some pictures of Rick's beard when he let me French braid it into two. It's so cute. So cute.
She's getting
Love
an
it.
angry emoji for that. For that. That'll show her.
Oh my gosh, you're angry emoji, Janet.
She said bedazzle the beard. I can't even keep the beard under control these days.
He has an appointment for the barber. Not hi Brandon. In case you ever watch this, Rick and Brian miss you.
Yeah.
They'd like you to come
Please come
back.
back. Please.
You're the only barber that has ever made Rick's face feel fully trusted. Trust in trusting hands.
It's hard. Like
It
it's not
is.
easy dealing with beards.
That being said, there's this guy at Oak, which is a tiny little 2-seat barber shop, um, that has done a good job in the past, but pre-pandemic, because they haven't been offering beard cuts, and I totally understand why.
Yep.
Okay, so the next part of that is if we do the photography, we need to have someone who can come in and look at what our personal styles are and then like go, okay, but this is what we're going to do. And I know a person who I think we could hire to do that. I haven't talked to her about it yet, but how would you feel about that? And I'm sure she would let you wear a hat. She likes hats.
How do you think I would feel about that?
Better than having to make those decisions yourself? Maybe?
I don't know. Sure.
Do you want to know who it is, or do you just want to be surprised?
No, production stuff.
I have this one really good friend, and if you don't know who you are, I'm disappointed in your self confidence. Who does an amazing job of styling people. It's not what like she's talked about doing it for a living, but I don't think she's ever actually like gone and done it for a living. But she's an amazing like thrifter, stylist, fashion designer, and I want to see what she'd do. But you can't make me wear colorful clothing. Okay. That was that. Next production note. I ordered a bag of 50 20-sided dice. I'm not exactly sure how this will work, but last week we were in talks with the Dirty Woods people about getting a custom branded, mildly interesting people dice box and tower. And that also, I feel like we want to wait on logo for that. So,
yeah.
So,
probably.
One moment on that.
File that one away.
But then I think it was Mark or Janet, I can't remember which, that suggested we should have our guests roll a d20 to determine what question they will be asked.
Yeah, Mark suggested we have them roll it for every question, and then
that's a little much, yeah.
Wanted it to say we'll ask 4 and they can roll on the last one.
Janet says
they're ready when we have the logo ready.
Okay. We have decided that will in fact be a part of season 2, mildly interesting questions. Right now, we're not certain if we're going to be sending each. I mean, like so many people have a D20. Who doesn't have a D20 in their house? Actually, I know someone who doesn't have a D20 in their house because they're an upcoming guest for next season, and I had to ask. So we're figuring out the whole logistics of making sure everyone has D20s, but I just ordered a giant bag of D20s so that we've got D20s. And that way, if we have to roll for someone else, we can ship them their D20 as a memento. Or maybe we always roll for someone and then we ship them their D20 as a memento. I don't know. I'm not sure exactly. I was kind of wondering. That. I was wondering if you had any thoughts about that.
No, I was thinking of that. Like we highlight the number that they hit for.
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. That's fun.
Okay, so then it's perfect. We use the dice tower to roll it. Right. I show everyone this is what came up. We ask them the corresponding question. And am I understanding correctly that the questions come from the mildly interesting questions that you and I asked one another in the production meetings? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So I think we figured out how we're going to
need 20 of them, obviously.
I got a bag of 50.
No, we need 20 questions
Oh,
depending on what
oh.
number they roll.
Yes, I think that won't be a problem. We have some
Cool.
questions that I really loved.
Cool.
Okay, so that was that.
You keep mentioning seasons. Do you want to explain to people what you're thinking there?
Yes.
Cool.
So we're not big, like we're not going to label the episodes season 1, episode 1, season. We're not going to change the name, the nomenclature, but we're looking at as seasons for internal purposes and also for like milestone purposes. So we've decided that a season is 20 interview guests. So not counting production meetings. This is behind the scenes stuff, but it is 20 people that we've interviewed. And so our first interview happened 4 months ago.
We recorded the first interview 4 months ago.
Okay, so our first episode was with one of my dearest friends, Mika, 4 months ago. The last interview for this season has taken place, but it is we had to one up ourselves on who could be so close to Cami that it would be even more emotional and messed up to have them on as a guest. And we picked that person. Rick picked that person, and I was like, oh. Mm-hmm. And so those are our bookends. So our next, not the next one that y'all see, but the next interviews that we do will be for season 2 of Mildly Interesting People. And we will have 20 of those before we then go ahead. And the primary thing in our heads, right?
I don't know that we actually had 20 people because at the beginning of the show, we ran like one show of just us.
I think that counts in this.
But we may have only interviewed 19 people, but the idea is that a season will be 20.
Yeah. 20 full episodes rather than 10 interviews and 10 production meetings. Yeah. And I think the biggest thing that we're looking at that changes in the seasons right now, I would eventually like to get to the part where the title cards change per season, because I think that would be a cute little visual indicator. But the primary thing right now is that we're going to change the mildly interesting questions, and we're going to ask a new set of mildly interesting questions to every people. 4 questions are always going to be the same, and that 5th question is going to be the die roll to see what we're going to ask them. And part of that is because some folks have no idea about the mildly interesting questions when we interview them. And some folks are like, no, I've prepared. I have my answers written down. I'm ready to go. And I am like, I at least want something that's going to be different for people each time.
Yep.
Which brings me to my next question.
The first guest we have for that, I know, has probably already done their research. So throwing him that curveball is going to be amazing.
It's part of the reason I wanted to have him as that was like such ready agreement that he's the one, because he knows, he pays attention to everything. I wonder. Yeah. So anyway, my next production note is still on this. Do we ask the mildly interesting? So to wrap up the season, we're going into some stuff here. Rick and I have decided to take a week off of live recording or of live episode interviews, right? Live interviews. So this next week,
no, not live interviews. We'll still do the lives,
right?
Just are not going.
We're not going to produce the interview.
1 week,
correct? Yeah. And the podcast that comes out will be a season 1 special. Okay. Is it okay to say what that podcast will have?
I don't think we've really decided about it. I mean, if people have suggestions, we've thought about like maybe the oh, hi Jeremy. Penguin is on the YouTubes right now.
Hi.
The what we've discussed is maybe doing the mildly interesting questions and everybody's responses to them.
Right.
We may do like just a highlight reel. I don't know. We haven't
so what
really decided yet.
What I was thinking was I have 2 options to wrap up the mildly interesting questions for season 1. Option number 1 is that next week, Rick and I, instead of asking the 5 random questions, new questions, Rick and I ask one another the 5 standard questions to close out the season. So we've asked all of our guests. Now Rick and I get to answer them. But my other thought was maybe we just record that, like, I don't know, when we are done talking to all of you, and then that gets layered into the clips for as like special bonus information.
Yeah, I like that. I like that too. I was just trying to think through, like, do you really want to sit through 20 responses to that's 100 responses? Like, what's compelling about that? I don't know. That's just I'm not against it. I'm just like,
well, I mean, it can also just be the highlights, right? So make sure that we feature at least one answer from each guest.
Mm-hmm.
And choose like 2 or 3 answers for each question to share.
Yep.
Something to think about.
Yep, we'll figure it out.
Apparently, I've given a lot of thought to this. Mm-hmm. And that's the end of my... Wait, no, got it. That's the end of my production notes. Wow, I had a lot to say this week.
No, I'm glad you did. That's the reason we hold this production meeting, and the same goes for all of you who are watching or listening. Like, if you have production notes or you have thoughts on some of the things that Cami's mentioned, or you're like, I think you should do this for your season ending episode, like, just let us know.
Us.
We're open to ideas. This isn't set in stone. So you've covered everything.
I have covered everything that I had written down.
Okay,
cool.
Did
we want to talk about my hair instead?
No. So, I think we're still trying to figure out the live stuff. I think, to your earlier point, there's a question of, I don't want to make an assumption that this isn't a good time for people, because I don't know that we've actually effectively been promoting the fact that this occurs at this time. So
I have not at all, I don't think.
I think we just need to figure that out. And I think next week's going to be a wash one way or the other, because it's Father's Day and a lot of people have things to do on the Father's Day. But I still think we kind of run the live at this same time.
It's your day. If you want to do it, then I'm down.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, but I think going forward, we might need to think through, like, what day is actually the most effective for getting the kind of engagement that you want from a live audience during a live recording.
To be honest, Tuesday is a good option. If we don't want to do the weekend, I think Tuesday is an interesting option. So just putting that
Tuesday night club. Okay. Well, let's discuss it. I would like to shift it to a time that people feel works for them. They're willing to be engaged, and really, I mean, quite frankly, selfishly, give Cami the energy she wants from a live production of stuff. So that's the most important part to me. So I think that's up for discussion, and we just need to figure it out.
Okay. We could do a poll somewhere.
Or we could just, what we could do is just schedule a Tuesday, like, we'll do Sunday next week, which is Father's Day, and schedule a Tuesday for the following week, and do that like tonight, tomorrow, so that people have a couple weeks to realize that we've got that live coming up.
So do you mean Sunday and then 2 days later on a Tuesday, or do you mean the following week?
I mean the following.
Okay.
So do Father's Day, go that whole week,
okay,
and then the Tuesday.
Okay.
Might be something.
Okay.
Janet wants an open poll for when we could do it. I don't know. Figure it out. I'm just worried that somebody will go, do Saturdays at midnight. Oh, apparently the dryer is done.
Our Alexa device does not like that idea. I have forgotten that I was doing laundry. Thank goodness I have robots to tell me.
So that's the live. Now let's go through our statistics. What we do every week is we kind of look at all the places that Mildly Interesting People appears, give you our latest numbers or any insights that we're seeing, just so that you're kind of behind the scenes along this journey with us. We had a couple mildly interesting celebrations recently based on those metrics, and we just kind of want to keep doing that, keep paying attention to it, and keep celebrating those mildly interesting wins. So, Cami, where are we on the Instagram or the gram or whatever the kids are calling it these days?
I have no recollection of what it was last week, but it
It
is
was like,
200.
go ahead.
No, tell me what you think it was.
I thought it was like 220 or something.
It's 227. So
Okay. All right. I think it's gone up a little bit. Cool.
okay.
On Spotify, we have 1,303 downloads. Again, Spotify is just the podcast, the audio podcast is just a machine. Like consistently every week, it's like right about 40 plays every single time. And that's
Do you think it's because it's just the way that the people use the service and it just auto plays into their stream, or auto down, like maybe it's auto downloaded if you subscribe? Does it count if you
have to listen to it?
Okay. Well, thank you to those of you listening to us on Spotify. I know who one of those people are, but
on any podcasting platform. So
okay. Well,
Apple,
yes,
Spotify, Overcast, all those.
Thanks to those of you who are listening to us in our audio form.
We do appreciate it. And that's another.
What is going on with my camera? The people in the audio format, I was confused because I took my hair down probably. It's
the people who are listening podcast, Cami has the camera face follow going, so it got confused and panned away. So I think so. I guess my question, and this doesn't even need to be answered, is like, do we need to keep doing the bonus content every week, or are people more interested in just listening to the guests? Like, because that's yet another set of editing I need to do if I'm editing 2 shows a week as opposed to just one. So just trying to figure out that workload. If it's still valuable to people and they enjoy listening to this on the audio side, we would love to hear it. If you're like, I just kind of want to hear your interviews with people, that's absolutely fine too. And happy to just post those.
I also kind of feel like there's a third option, and that is cutting it down to like once a month, the first Tuesday of every month or the last Tuesday of every month, we do a production meeting. And that way, like, we're still talking about the things that need to be talked about, and people can respond if they're so moved, but they don't feel like it's Tuesday, I have to go hang out with Rick and Cami on their little podcast.
Yeah, I mean, we could totally do that.
So I'm open to lots of options, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
I didn't want those to be the only two.
Yep. Yeah. So just stuff to think about. Just like I think we've gotten to a level of content production, which is sustainable. It's not overwhelming, but we are producing a lot of content for 2 people with full-time jobs and other things, and we don't have to do that, I guess, is the thing I'm saying. Like, if other people are like, no, I really don't want you in my shorts that often, stay out of my shorts, then we can reduce that stuff.
I would also point out that my whole thing is that we do this as long as it's making us happy and bringing us joy. And if you're feeling like it's too much work, then it's too much work and we should dial it back a bit.
That's not what I was saying.
Okay.
What I was saying is I'm fine. This is totally sustainable. But if nobody's listening to it or wants it, then there's no reason to be doing all the stuff and all the things. Like, if all people want are the interviews and, a few shorts throughout the week, or reels throughout the week, then we can do that too.
Okay. I'm cool with all of this. Cool. My camera doesn't know what it's cool with, but I'm cool with this all.
All right. More statistics. Substack.
Delicious.
For folks who don't know, we have a monthly newsletter because we were like, you can't pay attention to all the stuff we're doing throughout the month. Why don't we give you a monthly recap? And so we do that. We've only done a couple issues. We have 43 subscribers. We're up 17 subscribers in the last 30 days. So
Hello,
hopefully
43 people.
hopefully that's providing some value to people and kind of gives you a repository of all the shows for you to go back and watch.
Rick loves a newsletter too. Like he loves starting a newsletter. He has more newsletters than anything.
I read a lot of newsletters too. So that's just my way of processing information. So I think I gravitate toward that. And then on the YouTube, we have 103,938 views on the life of the channel. We're edging ever closer to 1,000 watch hours, and we're at 856.9 watch hours. And then we have 280 subscribers on the channel currently.
Thank you, 280 people. Y'all are awesome.
It's just great. Yeah. Stats for this week. Anything else we need to cover?
Not going to throw my pen at the screen. I've got nothing.
Cool. All right. Well, sorry the energy level was low. As I said, we recorded earlier today, and we've both been like busy today.
And I watched Sleepers.
Yeah. So again, appreciate you joining us. Thanks for showing up. It was good to see Janet and Jeremy swing by, and we will plan to do this next week, Sunday at 6 p.m. Come celebrate Father's Day with us or whatever.
It'll be the special Father's Day episode.
We'll sit around in a dirty white tank top and drink Budweiser or something. We'll see what happens.
No.
I don't know. I'm not making any promises.
No.
Oh, all right.
I mean, if you would like to, if you would like to dress up in that garb, that I accept that, but I will not be. I will not be drinking Budweiser. I don't like beer.
Cool. All right,
and I don't like dirty clothing. So.
Shh. All right, we're done.
Okay.
We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.